panic stations, I'd imagine, at Port Adelaide, Bill, sort of break glass in case of emergency.
Richmond, they were disappointing last week. After three-quarter time, they were terrible in that last quarter. Only 70 k's down the road, magnificent GMHBA Stadium. The lights come on. I tell you what, they all come out, the natives. They love going to Geelong. Dogs, good to see them
Are the
back.
Tigs done?
No, they'll be back.
OK.
G'day punters, welcome to Chewing the Fat. Billy Brownless and Daisy Thomas, and what a game we've got for you right now, Days. Port Adelaide, Melbourne. What about this? Port Adelaide, zip and 3. Melbourne, 3 and zip. Gee, they need a win, my friend.
They certainly do. Panic stations, I'd imagine, at Port Adelaide, Bill, sort of break glass in case of emergency. Ooh. They are and have genuinely hit the skids here.
So if you're a coach, what would you do?
I'd be implementing some old-school tactics and not the ones bring your mouth guards, maybe more of a social gathering. Try and get some spirit down there. Yes. I feel that at the minute they're sort of gone a bit tired, a bit insular, starting to play for themselves, not one another. So not ideal, and it doesn't get any easier, obviously, taking on the reigning premiers. $1.45. Surely it's got something to do with the fact that they've almost climbed the mountain and got to the top a couple of times, Port Adelaide. Falling short, is that the residual effect? Or are they not so concerned about the start of the season because in years past they've been very good out the blocks and making a late charge?
Oh, not bad. No, so they'll be nice and fit and their run will be timed perfectly towards the end. Well, I'm not sure because I tell you what, over there in Port Adelaide, the supporters don't like losing. So they've got to win for the supporters, for themselves. But also Kenny Hinkley, he's under the pump over there. So they need to win this one. So I'm going to have a look at Port Adelaide at the line, which is?
You get a 15.5 point or thereabouts head start. Right. You think that's enough?
Yeah, I'd like
$1.90.
I'd like another goal or two, but I'll take that. $1.90,
well,
I'll
I
take
think
that.
then the other way, I think Melbourne can cover that. About that 3-goal margin would flood a Port Adelaide. I could see it being 4 or 5 goals more than that.
Do they tag Petrarca or Oliver?
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I think they probably will tag, that being Port Adelaide, but we know Melbourne don't tag, and teams haven't tagged Melbourne so far. Christian Petrarca, how good is he going? Just continuing on where he left off last year.
Yes.
My boy Clary Oliver's still there in the market. Ollie Wines?
$21, Ollie Wines.
Oh, value.
He does get votes, we know that. I still like Lockie Neal there, my pick early in the year. And speaking of the tagging, because have a look at this. The battle of the midfield. We're having a close look at this. Most disposals between Petrarca and Ollie Wines.
Yeah, well, I think Willem Drew from Port Adelaide will either go to Oliver or Petrarca. So if you are going to hedge there, I think Ollie Wines is the value. If Port are going to be competitive like you think they will, look for your stars to get involved, the big boys in the middle to put their head in the trough and get the ball going. I think that's Ollie Wines at $1.85. We know Petrarca can win a stack of the ball, but if he's getting sat on, he might just go forward and limit how many disposals he has, but he might be hitting the goals and the goal scoring instead.
Wines and Boak there, they'll be getting the disposals. Don't worry about that. What about this game? Friday night, only 70 k's down the road, magnificent GMHBA Stadium. The lights come on. I tell you what, they all come out, the natives. They love going to Geelong and watching their home side, who have been good. Very good win over Collingwood last week. They're $1.80. Brisbane, $2.05 if you don't mind, umpire.
Well, Brisbane is the value there, purely just on form. They're 3 and zip. The Cats got a win on the weekend against the Pies, who we still don't really know where they're at. They were good, but we don't think they're going to finish higher than probably 14th at best. So Brisbane are the value here head-to-head. They're going along nicely. Joey Danaher starting to find some form. Lockie Neal through the midfield. Charlie Cameron. And for the Cats, well, they were very good, but they needed to be too, Bill. And it's just interesting to see if that game zaps them of any energy. Big occasion, a big comeback. You can't be doing that against good sides, and Brisbane certainly are a good side.
Tell you what, it will be a high-scoring game, so maybe the over here because both sides kicking goals and plenty of goal kickers. Let's have a look at that. Tom Hawkins at $6.50. Jeremy Cameron at $7. And you like Joe Danaher.
Yeah, I did like Joe. I think obviously Brisbane high-scoring team, and the more the season goes on, he'll be looking to get involved a lot more. He's starting to hit his straps, finding some good continuity and consistency. I think $15 there represents some real value for a team who we know are going to have 15-odd shots a week. That's
right. So high-scoring game down there Friday night at GMHBA Stadium. And this game, very interesting. Richmond, they were disappointing last week. After three-quarter time, they were terrible in that last quarter. Grimes is out with a hammy, of course. That hurts him, their captain. And the Doggies finally had a win.
Yeah, they did. They needed to win, the Dogs, obviously, and they got back to their very best. Hard, tough, got it going forward. Norton looked likely. Jamara Ugle-Hagan is growing before our eyes. He's competing. He's going to take a few really nice
Team
clunks.
English.
I can't see the Tigs winning here. I think $1.50 for the Dogs is pretty good. 1 to 39 market, $2 is where I'd be looking in this one, Bill.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Dogs, good to see them
Are the
back.
Tigs done?
No, they'll be
No?
back.
Okay.
Have you downloaded the PointsBet
I
app?
certainly have. Only took a minute. How good's that?
Oh, well done, Dave. Great chatting to you on Chewing the Fat. Thanks to PointsBet.